located in the heart of Alden Park community at 701 Hooker Road. You all remember the historical Pineywood Elementary School building. Well, guess what? God has repurposed that facility, and WPTP is in here doing the thing. And you know what? I am just filled with joy today because I have one of my favorites in the house. Yes, Commissioner Warren Mackey is in the house.
Hello.
Y'all know he's so busy. You have to catch him now. Sometimes you have to get him by his ankles and pull him in because he's all over the place doing so much for this wonderful county, Hamilton County, and so much that we don't know about. He has so many fights, so many battles to protect our community and the people that he served. And every now and then, we have to bring you in.
And I want to be here.
Yeah, we have to bring you in so you can talk to us.
I'll do it.
Yeah, so Warren Mackey, thank you for coming here. Commissioner Warren Mackey. Commissioner Dr. Warren Mackey. See, I'm going to give him all his props because he worked for it and he deserves it. And how long have you been the commissioner now?
16 years.
16 years.
Fighting.
Some of y'all were babies. They're now adults, married with children. I mean, that's a long time.
It's a long contribution.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, you have to be dedicated to what you're working for.
Yes.
And as for me, all I want to do, the big things for me, serving the people, is I want to help create jobs. And we have an abundance of them. An abundance of them around the city. You drive down the street, you see every place, they're hiring. And then the other major reason that I serve this community is I want to help create the environment where men and women can invest their money and grow a business. If people are not making money, there's no way to provide services to the people. You can't have good schools if you don't have money coming in.
Amen.
You can't have daycare. It's just a whole number of things. And so it starts with money. If you create jobs, people can work. They can support their families, support their community, support services for their people.
That's right.
And then, when you have people working, Dr. Woods, they are so less inclined to do wrong.
People that have jobs don't go around killing because they ain't got time.
They got to go work.
They got to go work. They ain't not killing nobody. They ain't doing nothing but going to work.
And, Doc, before we go forward, let me say, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the work you do.
Thank you.
You have been a major force, and I have seen the different areas you have worked in. You did a tremendous job with the NAACP.
Thank you.
As a businesswoman, you have been very successful. And like this radio station, this is going to be a major protector of black people.
Amen.
When you think about the media, they can twist a story in such a way you walk away with the wrong impression.
That's it.
I would maintain there's two institutions, two major, well, actually three. John Edwards and the Chattanooga and the News Chronicle.
Shout out to John Edwards.
We need him. We need you, Dr. Woods, in this station, and I see you're growing.
Oh, honey, we have partnered with John Edwards and the Chattanooga News Chronicle.
Yes.
We have to protect our black legacy and our black institutions.
If you don't, you must do it because, again, when things happen, you want to know what the truth is. You want to hear the story.
Amen.
And by virtue of having you, by virtue of having other media forums in Chattanooga like your opposition, I won't say your opposition, but there's another radio station. We need all of the media because, again, if I have seen news, stories reported on the news, and I have been on scene, and what I saw with my own eyes, and then what I listened to, it wasn't the same thing.
It's not. And that's why I founded WPTP Radio. And for folks that, are listening out there today, it is so crucial that the African American community have a voice in this community and that we can communicate with one another, and that when something is said in the community about, say, our elected officials and even myself in the past, we have a place where we can come and tell our story so that people will hear the truth, because there's always different sides. There's the right side, there's the wrong side, and then there's another side in the middle, right? Yes. So we have to We have to be able, as African Americans, to protect our people and our community. We have to be able to communicate with one another. And that's why, one of the reasons why you're here. I know you're up for re-election. You have someone that's challenging you. You've had challenges in the past and come out successful. But before we get there, I have to say that we as African Americans, we fall out, okay, because we're individually made independent from God, and we have different opinions. We are strong people, and we all are. In the case of me and Mackie, we are professional people, and we are strong-minded, and we're intelligent, educated people. And those kinds of people, like we are, sometimes we don't see the same thing the same way. But at the end of the day, we're going to come back, my brother and me, your sister, and we're going to talk, and we're going to either agree to disagree, or we're going to see the other person's side. But we're going to continue to work together, because it's for the good of this community. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. What's good for our community and what's good for the people who depend on us to lead. So those that are out there saying we don't have any leaders, yes, you do. You do have leaders, and you have strong leaders. Our leaders need you to support them and to get behind them. And when we're wrong, we don't have to air it out.
Right.
You know, we can go behind closed door like everybody else does and fix the problem. We come out victorious, just like our parents did. They would fight like cats and dogs. And they would come out that house and go to church on Sunday morning smiling like nothing has ever happened. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be able to fight, disagree, and then come out together. And that's what we are. We are together.
Without a doubt.
We are together.
And to that point, let me just say that you and I and others, we're not going on our feelings so much. We stay in communication with the people that we represent.
That's right.
People have invested their trust in us. They give us their support, and it behooves us to represent the people. And I make no bones about it. You know, when you look at where I come from, I have been mightily blessed to be able to have done some of the things that I have been able to do, to visit, to experience, and in doing so, as far as I'm concerned, when the good Lord opened that door, He wasn't doing that for Warren Mackey.
No,
He wanted to prepare me to come out here and serve His people, and that's what I'm going to do, and that's why I do it fearlessly.
Yeah, me too.
Fearlessly.
Me too.
Because I know I've got a backup.
That's right.
And I don't think you can deceive people. People are not dumb. Mm-hmm. They can see through when you're playing games with them.
They sure can.
And so you may as well show up right. And if you do that, you'll come out fine.
That's it. And so I'm gonna twist it a little bit and kind of go to where the questions that I've gotten, and let me tell you all, I'm gonna give you the phone number to call in and ask him questions, because that's why he's here, to clear up any confusions or misunderstandings that you all may have had. We know that Commissioner Mackey has shifted his leadership in a different area, but it does in no mean, and from what I've heard and talked to you before we went on the air, that he neglected his people here in Alton Park, Piney Wood, Oak Hill, parts of downtown, and the west side. All of his areas, he's going to explain what really happened. And when I was mad too, I ain't gonna lie, I'm straight up. This my radio station. I can say what I was mad. Why? I wasn't mad because he left and went to another part of town. I was mad because you've been a great leader. And I was like, who's going to replace him? Who's going to care about the people in our community the way you have cared? So I was upset. I was like, why would he do that to me? Why would he do that to the people out here? And so we had a show that come on. We challenged you to come on and explain it. And I don't know if it was explained correctly, but we still have people who want to know what happened. And when you explained it to me, I was okay. I was okay. And if I can be okay, because I am an analytical person, I will break you down to the common denominator. But he explained it to me. I'm still kind of upset because we losing you. Now, don't think that we're not going to
I
miss
haven't
you.
gone away.
No, yes, because
Yeah.
we got a budget before him and his colleagues, and I will tell you all, it is a $3 million budget, and we're gonna come with a ton of folk to support the African American community with that $3 million, and that's nothing. $3 million is nothing to invest in the African American community. So we're gonna be coming. We're gonna be bringing preachers, lawyers, doctors, children, coaches, people that are vested in this community, down to speak with the commissioners. And we know it's there because we just gave $40 million away. So we know that it's there, but not to us as African American organizations. So we're gonna let that go because we're gonna be talking about that too. The budget has been submitted to County Mayor Jim Coppinger. The same budget has been submitted to our city mayor, Tim Kelly. So they are aware of what we're trying to do. The people have put into it. The people that's named on that list, about 50 people, they know what we're doing. So we in it together. That's how we win. It's not by segregating ourselves from one another. It's from coming together, pulling our resources together, and no one person being the control of anything. We do it together. So we're not going to talk about that budget, that $3 million budget, because y'all going to hear more about that in the paper. But Mr. Commissioner, Dr. Mackey, tell us what really happened with this shift, with this, this change.
Let me get started.
Get started.
How
I
much
want to
time
hear it
do I
again.
have, by the way?
Well, we got an hour, but
Okay.
but go
we'll
ahead.
get it in. About the district. The federal government, the Constitution require that every 10 years, the people in this country are counted. There's a census taken. And then there is a concept, one man, one vote.
Mm-hmm.
There's another concept, equal protection before the law.
Mm-hmm.
And so what take place every 10 years, the federal government counts the population in this country. And then because of those that count, a couple of things take place. Redistricting take place. Here in Chattanooga, for example, Hamilton County, some parts of the county have grown much faster than other parts of the county.
Mm-hmm.
Out in that East Brainerd area, the population has boomed, and other parts of the city haven't grown as fast. And so when the census are taken, then the district lines have to be redrawn to have more closeness in terms of how many people are in each district.
Okay. So what is the kind of magic number that they look for? So
Well, the magic number is an equal number, which is another way of saying, like right now, the county was divided into 11 districts, and each district roughly have about 32,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
About 32,000. And you wouldn't want to have one district that has 50,000 and another district have, say, 20,000.
Right.
So they have to rebalance that. Now, there are rules that govern that. And among them, the state comptroller, he sent some directives in terms of what should happen in Hamilton County. One, he said, there should be at least 2 minority districts
mm-hmm.
where a majority, 50 plus 1% of that population need to be minority. Now, it's strange the way it took place. Even the commissioners never had a chance to talk to the GIS people who was redrawing the maps. And to me, it was kind of slick, and I'll tell you why. All the time it's said that we are operating behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was mandated that even we didn't get a chance to talk to the people at GIS. The first time we saw the maps is when they brought them into our meetings and showed them to us at the very same time they showed them to everybody else. We didn't get a chance to study what schools, if schools and neighborhoods were being divided and split up. None of that. It didn't take place until they brought the meetings into the maps into the meetings. And I'm gonna tell you, Doc, I think it's rather strange that my district, one of the minority districts,
You got it.
52% of the people in my district are minority.
Why they had to change over then?
Well, why did they change it? In order to get to that 32,000.
Okay. So how many people
range.
was in your district before they changed the map?
40,000.
Oh, you had 40,000 people.
40,000.
Okay.
But and so they had to rebalance the district so that each district was approximately the same population. And so I thought it was strange that when they brought the maps, my district had 52% minorities. Now, Doc, let's be real. You and I would have, somehow we get this impression that we don't vote at the same rate that other people vote.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was by design.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and let me put one big thing to rest right now. Doc, why in the world, when 72% of the people in Alton Park supported me, why would I want to leave them? I want them. I want that population. Because again, if I'm going to get the requisite number of votes to get in office or stay in office, you want those places that have embraced you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, and I need to clear this one up
Clear
too.
it up.
Even though Oak Hill and Piney Woods, Alton Park are no longer in my district,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still fighting for them.
Did y'all hear
I
that?
will go to the mat for Alton Park, and I'm going there. And you see, somebody said, well, he didn't want Alton Park. And no, I love Alton Park. I got relatives in Alton Park. I got history in Alton Park. Why would I want to
You
give
got
that
me
up?
in Alton
I've
Park.
got you in Alton Park. And so what I want to do is, yes, they switched the lines.
Mm-hmm.
And in an effort to get to Alton Park, they cut me off at Main Street.
Mm.
I used to go from Highway 58 all the way to the Georgia line. Well, they cut it almost in half right there at Main Street.
And you had no control of how they
I
cut it.
had no control.
Did y'all hear
None.
that? Okay.
None.
We blame it on him, but the comptroller, working with the GIS map people, put all this together before. Did y'all even have to vote on that, or it was already set?
It was on just about set. Now, we had to, at the end of the day, we had to approve it. And I'm going to tell you something.
Did y'all get to fighting in there?
We have words. But what you have to understand, we don't have the power. This country is divided, Dr. Woods, and it's very partisan. It is very, very partisan, and the Republicans are doing everything they can to weaken the votes of minority people, of Democratic people, and others. They're doing they're playing all. I don't think it's an accident that they were able to draw the line and have 52%. And every time I tried to change that line, we went over plus 50% majority white population.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So now there's new District 11.
Before
What
I go-
percent? Okay,
yeah,
okay,
before
go
I
ahead,
go
'cause I
there.
want to know this answer.
okay, before I go there, in an effort to maintain and keep Alton Park, I had to try to get through Jefferson Heights, and we know the population there.
Mm-hmm.
Had to get through Coward Place. We know the population there. Condoville coming down Broad Street. Condoville coming. You know who lived there.
Right.
And they're not minority people. In fact, every time you move, you get a really strong incremental change in who live in that district.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I had no way that I could keep Alton Park, even though I voted, even though I asked, and we moved the different voting blocks around never could get
Because all
even
those
close.
other ones was in the way. And
Because
the
of-
population was not going to support that equal division.
Yeah,
I understand that.
And so it just couldn't happen.
Well, now okay, now District 11, this new district, has been formed. Used to have 9, now you got 11. Now, Autumn Park, Pineywood, St. Elmo, East Lake is now in District 11. What percentage of minority is in 11 now? What percentage is Democrat now? And what percentage is Republican? Because that answer is going to make me feel one way or the other.
Okay,
So what is it?
Here's the answer. The 4th district, my district, is 52% minority. District 5 is 51% minority. Guess what?
What?
The new District 11 is 53% minority.
Oh, did y'all hear that? Okay, now break this minority down, if you can, because I don't like the word minority because
Okay.
it skews numbers and
It does.
hides facts.
It does.
What percent of that minority is A, African American, B, is white female, C, is Hispanic or other?
I didn't see those kind of numbers.
See what I'm saying?
me
We
say
don't know that.
Let me
It's
say
what-
that.
it's-
But what I can say, if you were to add the black population and the Hispanic population, it will come up to 53%.
in District 11.
That new district encompassing Pinewood, St. Elmo, etc., Lookout Valley.
Okay, so it's 53 minority, so that makes it 47% minority. And how many of those people of 53% are registered voters? Here we go, y'all.
Don't know.
So that's just
don't
the
know.
census count.
The
It doesn't
census-
mean that they're registered to vote.
The way it works, it doesn't matter. They don't base it on Republican or whatever.
Just people.
Just people.
Okay.
Population.
Okay, listen, people. Okay, if you're out there and you're listening, this is the reason why he's here today, is to explain what happened, how it happened, and to kind of break down that effect that it will have on you as a resident here in Alton Park, Piney Woods, Oak Hill, St. Elmo, East Lake. There are 53% of the people in this new district that are minorities. That does not mean that you all are registered to vote. It just means that you're here. If you live in this district and you are a minority, it would behoove you, if you want to have some say-so in who's going to be your next commissioner, it would behoove all of us in this district to have a let's get out the vote party.
Now I got to stop you.
Stop me.
There is nothing more important than people going to vote.
Yes.
That is the most important thing
Number
you
one,
can do,
people.
and let your voice be heard.
Yes.
And there's a couple of things that need to take place. When say issues related to black people come up, people will come to me, as you know, and you know well, and you've
Yeah.
seen me call attention to issues, like when Blake Kilpatrick beat up the guy in handcuffs.
Oh yeah, we know.
I call it out. When they want to put him back to work, I called it out and had a press conference.
And I understand that one of them that beat up Interstate Tax is over there training the new deputies still. Okay, y'all know why I stay mad, right?
We
Okay.
are. And so nothing is more important than us voting right now.
Yes.
We got to vote.
Yes.
We must vote. You know, there are issues that come up before the county commission. And if we had one more vote, let me give you an example. In creating jobs, the federal government is right on the verge of shutting us down and placing a moratorium and saying, you guys in Hamilton County, because you can't handle your waste, federal government is going to fine you for every spill, and then we're going to shut you down and say you can't build anything else. We need a wastewater treatment plant. Now, I want your audience to hear me say this. When people come out here running to be the county mayor, Ask them specifically.
And we're going to have those candidates on WPTP.
Yeah.
All of you who are running for county mayor, you will be getting a call, and you don't have to come on WPTP. WPTP is an African American owned radio station. We support African American businesses and African American communities, and it's important that the African American community hear from you and that we understand what your plans are for our community. Simply put. So if we give you a call and you don't come, that's fine. That means you don't really care about our community. So we'll take it as that. So you will be getting a call. We're also going to interview our district attorney candidates. All of you will be getting a call from a representative from WPTP to come on. You may be on my show. We have 6 other talk show hosts that you will be probably called to come to 1 or 2 of them. I'm on Saturday. What's happening in your neck of the woods, that's my show. But we have other talk show hosts that are very talented, educated, and able to conduct a very good interview with all of the candidates.
Right. Let me speak to our folks.
Go ahead.
When people are running for the mayor's race, I want us to ask some basic questions. Ask them, do they support a wastewater treatment plant being built? Don't let them play a game and say, we want it, but in the right place. Do you understand what the right place
I
means?
know what you mean. They keep bouncing around because communities come together and stop them. So where do we need to put the wastewater plant?
Let me
And
tell
don't
you,
say Allen Park, because that's not going to happen.
well, let me tell you what the experts say out in East Brainerd. Because of how those ridges flow, you don't want to have to pump waste uphill.
Right.
And then the other thing, because a certain community may not want it, you can't let 200 people influence the whole county.
What about eminent domain? Okay, so if it's better for the city and the county, guess what? Your voice don't mean anything, because the government has the right to come in and place it where it's going to be for the good of that whole community.
I'm gonna tell
Am I right or wrong?
here's the thing. We need a wastewater treatment plant. Hamilton County does not have one. We give Moccasin Bend $10 million a year. Knoxville has 4 wastewater treatment plants. One of them is in one of the big dollar neighborhoods in Knoxville called Farragut. It has not depressed property values there. What has happened here is the people out in East Brainerd, they weren't educated to understand that these new wastewater treatment plants are not like the 70-plus-year-old Moccasin Bend plant. They don't have that smell. Their footprint is not as big. In fact, like in Knoxville, unless somebody took you there, you wouldn't be able to find
And I went to school there. I graduated from the University of Tennessee at Knoxville, and I never smelled a thing.
There you go.
And they got nuclear plants all around Knoxville.
Well, again, bottom line, when these people are running for the mayor's job, ask them where do they stand relative to a wastewater treatment plant, and then if they play the game and say, well, we want it, but it's got to be in the right place. Ask them where that right place is. Ask them, where does the expert say that plant should be? Why? And here's the thing, Doc. In order to move that plant a mile and a half down the road, it will cost an additional $22 to $24 million to keep it.
And Eastdale can't even get a tunnel. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, again, that's true. That's very true. But again, we need jobs. And in getting jobs, Doc, I was so very happy this past year. I introduced a resolution. I made a motion that we build the vocational school over where the old Marion Garber is, and it passed. We have had a vocational school, but it's been way up there in Sequoia and way up in the country. Where
And I'm going to talk to you about that too. Go ahead.
Where people can't get to Sequoia, but they can get to Avondale. at the old Marianne Garber School, and that, that's going to be a tremendous asset. The county commissioners need to anticipate in 2-3 years we're going to have to spend some more money, because you got great jobs people are going to come out of those plants with jobs, making good money.
Now,
Electricians, welders, carpenters, the trades. And I'm going to tell you, Doc, you're going to agree with me when I tell you this. When you and I was coming along, if people were going to do well, they needed a college degree. The work out here now is not about degrees. It's about what can you do.
right, and to that point, the Autumn Park Development Corporation also petitioned for some trades training as well. So in that proposal, I am requesting that we partner as well, because I know from listening to what this trade school is targeting, they're targeting our high school students. That's fine. They're targeting high school students, but there are groups of individuals in the African American community that they're not going to reach. So we need to have a satellite facility and also an additional trade school that doesn't focus on those children or those kids in school and those entities that they're focusing on right now.
I don't disagree with you. This school that's going to open in the fall, it will have 200 students. 160 of them will be from the high schools,
What schools are they?
all across the county.
Okay.
And then the other 40 seats will be people who are post high school, who can go back and get those trainings. And down the road, though, when people hear that they're coming out making the kind of money they're going to make, and these companies, they can't find enough welders. They can't find enough mechanics. They can't find enough masons. And there is nothing wrong with working with your hands.
Right. And that's why I'm going to say again, the African American community has in some part been left. What part of the African American community knows about it, those 40 seats that are left, and how are they going to target getting those seats filled? We have a whole community of African American men and women who are beyond high school that need to be trained, and I'm going to fight for African American communities to have a trade school in our community with our people teaching our people, because they will not be reached. I'm keeping it real. And so I did speak with our state representative. I did speak with some other individuals in the community, and I'm letting you all know we're going to continue to fight for the right to have training and educational programs in the African American community by African American communities, and we want that money placed in our community so that we can help our people. Not to discredit what's going on at the Marianne Garber School. I think that's wonderful that our children in our public school systems will have an opportunity to go through the trades, because we have fought for that for years. I thank Commissioner Mackey for fighting to get a trade school back in our community, because Kirkman was taken away.
It was, but let me say, it wasn't just me. No one single person can do it all.
Right.
You gotta have some, just like Biden right now, President of the United States, have more power than anybody on the planet. He can't get his plan through. If somebody's running for office and say, I'm going to do this, the best they can do is say, I'm going to support, I'm going to fight for this, and this is the stance I'm going to take. I'm going to throw out quite a few things right here. The governor of Tennessee, he is getting ready to start awarding vouchers.
Right.
Now, I'm not really okay with vouchers, but what I'm going to tell you I am not okay with is he is moving the needle to where each student is, wherever they attend, about $11,000 for
goes
that
with
kid.
them. Goes with them.
Well, he's changing the rules and allowing people to take that $11,000 out of the public school system and
We got a
take
problem
it
with that.
to these private schools.
We got a problem with that. There's a problem
Now,
with it.
again, when these people are running, like on the state level, make them say, will they support Lee, the governor, or support the people of Hamilton County and keep that money in the public sector instead of allowing it to go to the private sector. Now, there, again, what you will hear is this: every parent wants the best education for their kid, and they do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to take it, and what they're going to say to you and I is, why not let that kid go where the parents feel they can get the best education? Code words, coded language.
I know.
And so let them go, but don't take the public money
Right,
to the
with 'em.
private
That's
to the
correct.
private sector.
That's correct.
That's what I'm opposed to.
Right.
And make people say, are they going to support Lee, the governor,
Mm-hmm.
and let him take this money into the private sector, or are they going to stand up for Hamilton County and keep the money in the Hamilton County public school system?
You all heard that. Do we have a caller on the line? Let me give you all the number again. It's area code 423-713-7614. I know you all are itching to ask Commissioner Dr. Warren Mackey a question, and we tend to talk about you when you cannot hear us,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not fair to have you on the radio today with the lines open, people. I don't want y'all to say nothing else about Commissioner Warren Mackey, to me anyway, if you don't call this number and ask your question or voice your concern. The number is 423-713-7614. So after this show, we're going to kill the noise.
Good.
We're going to kill the noise and let him run his race. Now, what communities have you picked up when they did the district shift? Because people need to know, maybe you weren't their district representative before. Now you will be when you win the election, right? So we got a caller coming. I'm going to let you answer that question because people need to know what neighborhoods are now going to be represented by District 4 Commissioner Dr. Warren Mackey.
The significant addition I got is I got Eastdale.
Eastdale.
Let me say it a different way. See, heretofore, the boundary for my district and District 5 on the other side of the ridge was Chamberlain, Dodson, and Dodds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now what has happened, and see, Dodds will go all the way to the Georgia line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they cut it at Main Street. I say they because we didn't have a choice.
They didn't have a choice. Y'all heard that.
Now, so they cut it Main Street and moved me across the ridge over to Tunnel Boulevard. And I'm happy for that district, to have that district because they have more.
Who had it before?
It was
Jeter
and Beck.
Jeter and Beck. Okay,
Yeah.
so now give me the neighborhoods. Y'all listening because I know you are because you tagged me back and said you're going to be watching today.
Mhm.
So you got Eastdale,
Cherokee Woods,
Cherokee Woods,
and those are the two major ones. I got part of the Ridge.
part of the Ridge.
Yeah, I got part of the Ridge. And that is to say from Wilcox, if you take Wilcox,
Mm-hmm.
come through the tunnel, go down to Tunnel Boulevard,
Mm-hmm.
and you go over to Highway 153. That's what I got.
All you got all that.
Mhm.
That do you have any minorities in your district? It sounds like it's. I mean, just a few.
Well,
What's the percentage of minority in your district?
52%.
52%.
52%. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, we got a caller. We're gonna take this call. Okay, caller, who do we have on the line, and what is your question?
Well, my question is to both of you, but it's not concerning his district, it's concerning mine.
What is your name, sir? I'm sorry, and where do you live?
Nathaniel Rochelle.
Okay, all right.
Yes, yes. I want to ask a question, and I'm going to give an example for the black businesses that, say like if you got a car lot or something like that, the city come around and have you to put up a petition or board or something because it's an eyesore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I wonder why Lakita Dawson, I called her, she called me the day she got elected, because I asked her the question, was things going to be different in this district, in this community? It hadn't changed. Okay, for an example, I would like to know what the city and what she's going to do about the eyesore that's down there on 11th Street and spread it all over the city. Now, I know these people got different issues, mental, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put them in somewhere, even hygienically, or whatnot. You can't put them in a motel or whatnot. What they say they were going to do to get a facility for them or whatnot, because you got 5 or 6 different issues that these people dealing with. I would like to know when the day is going to come that the city, and all of this is right down the street from City Hall.
Mm-hmm.
What is this city going to do with the eyesore? And also Lakita, what is she going to do about at least keeping that area clean 24 hours a day? I know it might be a hard task to do, because people's coming down there helping those people, feeding them, clothing them, and instead a lot of those people's going, asking these people, do you have in the garbage bag, and try to help pick up the debris down there.
Mm-hmm.
They destroy it right on the ground and just water in it all day. And to me, as a concerned citizen, it's an eyesore. And I've been to some cities. You say you went to school in Knoxville. I know where the homeless people's at in Knoxville,
Mm-hmm.
and it don't look like that.
I
know
agree.
where the homeless people's at in Nashville, and it don't look like that. What is the secret to these people's keeping it clean and tidy? And this city right down the street from the city hall is neglecting to do anything about that situation. And that was my question. And me as a concerned citizen, and I drive around this city every day for a living because I'm an inner city transportation specialist.
All right. What's your name again, sir?
Rochelle.
I'm a taxi,
Rochelle. Okay.
yes,
All right.
I'm a taxi driver. That Tyler is a taxi driver. I just put that emphasis on it.
Okay.
I would like to know what's going to transpire in the future about that. Hey, thanks a lot for taking my call.
Thank you. And I want to, before you answer that question, the city is inside the county, and this is our county commissioner. And even though he's a county commissioner, I know he can answer that question. The Mayor Tim Kelly, will be on our show. We're getting his schedule together to come on the show to answer some of those kinds of questions as it relates to the city. But the county has a building in the city too, and I know the county works with the city. So what are we doing about the homeless conditions and I call it the environmental situations that we're dealing with in the city of Chattanooga to keep it cleaner? What are we doing?
You said it. You have different governments. The city of Chattanooga controls Chattanooga. The Hamilton County Sheriff Department does not patrol in the city. The Chattanooga Police Department patrol. I said that to say that when the city of Chattanooga incorporated and created itself, it said that it was going to govern that region. Now, Chattanooga is in county. In Hamilton County, but we don't have control over those ordinances and codes for the city of Chattanooga. Those are things, and Miss Rochelle, as you already know, it's not just 11th Street, just coming down Workman Road.
Oh yes,
it's a lot of people hurting out here, and a lot of homeless people hurting out here. I like the statement you made about, even though they may be homeless, they still can maintain a better sanitary and
environment.
Clean. And so I don't know what the city is going to do, but I will say it is a national problem. I was looking this past week on some of the governmental property in D.C. You got homeless people who have set up tents. And I don't say that disparagingly. And Miss Rochelle, I'll say one of the best experiences I ever had in my life is on Christmas. I was able, I took occasion to go down to 11th Street and help feed the homeless. And I'm gonna tell you, after that, I was so touched. I was so lifted up, and I came back to the county commission, and I tried them to, en masse, we all go down as a way of encouraging others to step in and try to help those who are not doing so well right now. They wouldn't take it. They wouldn't do it. It was such a wonderful experience. I even said, look, we need to pay the homeless shelter for the privilege of coming, because you walk out of there with so much more. You talk about your heart feeling well, your soul feeling well, and these people are appreciative.
What would it hurt to put garbage cans?
It
That's
would-
simple. And have our garbage crew to pick up the garbage from the garbage can and a dumpster, maybe 2 dumpsters in the area for them to dump their stuff. The problem is, and they're not going to go away. The homeless people will always be amongst us no matter what we do. So we might as well help keep the environment clean by putting some garbage cans where they are, so that they can throw the litter in a garbage can, and we pick those garbage cans up.
On a
That's
regular.
simple. That's simple. It's not hard.
Not at all. And I'm going to go to my city councilman and ask him what can be done about this, the conditions around these camps. Even though people are not doing well, they can still be in a better environment.
That is correct. So I know Mayor Tim Kelly is listening out there today. That question is mainly for you. And so is it possible that we can set up garbage cans along these homeless sites, even a dumpster, a rollback dumpster, whatever you want to call it, so that people can at least put their things in a collection can and then be picked up by the city? That seems like it's a real hard problem that we're having, but we really aren't having a hard problem. It's just that we don't have the right solution. And the solution would be to put receptacles out
And
there.
I'll tell you something else. Doc, you and I, we started working early in our lives. I just wonder if somebody may have enough money in their budget to pay some kids $15 an hour, because they're going to learn something. When they see that condition, they're going to try to avoid.
Being that way. Okay, mayors. I'm talking about Mayor Coppinger and Mayor Kelly. Could we put a program together and look at my budget? Because there's a budget proposal before you where we can pay some children to go out and help keep Chattanooga clean. And so, because littering does affect us, environment very bad. Some of that stuff ends up in the water, the river, and that kind of thing. It pollutes the water. It definitely pollutes the air. We know that they're defecating and all kinds of things because they have nowhere to go to the bathroom and no water to drink or keep themselves clean. So,
And Doc, let me say, I'm not going to say send kids into that environment unprotected.
oh yes,
Let them go in, being accompanied by
adults.
the police department, adults, and others. Yes.
Yeah, and with COVID running rampant in the city, there has to be even more protection, not just I call it barriers that they wear, mask, shields, and maybe even some garments over their clothing, but they also have that protection where they're not actually interacting with the homeless people, just a safe distance, just to pick up the trash. So
I'm going to change the topic.
okay.
What I want to know from the public, how can county government help them with jobs? We're providing training. First of all, there's plenty of jobs. And now we're beginning to launch training with that vocational school. What I want to know is, what can I take to the mayor and the county commission in terms of what else can we do? You see, the government will listen They listened to me in the wake of the 7 ladies getting shot over on the west side. And I asked the mayor to come to my meeting. Most of the county commissioners came to my meeting. And what that meeting dealt with had to do with the violence and the shootings taking place in Hamilton County. So after the legal people, police people, they spent 29 minutes speaking. And when it was all done, then I invited the citizens who attended to come, and I asked them as they approached the podium, tell us what can county government do to help you? How can county government help stop the violence? Now, I'm going to tell you something, Doc, and I was really happy about it. When after the people spoke, and they spoke for about 47 minutes, telling their story, I turned to County Mayor Coppinger, and I said, Mayor, the people have spoken. Will you give me your word that you'll do what you can to support them? I asked him a second time, and he said, absolutely. And after that, Doc, I went to the county commission, and that's when I asked for $300,000, and the commission gave it. And the people who I knew best, who dealt with violence and whatnot, and that is Troy Rogers and others, they devised a pilot program. They are devising a program to help mitigate against some of these shootings. I don't know what they're going to come up with. You're not a gangster, I'm not a gangster. So we go to those who deal with that the most and try to get them to tell us. And so the mayor and the county
They're
commission,
not gangsters, so I'm interested in knowing what kind of program they have. They're not gangsters either. But we all deal with them in
we're
some
going to
form
be
or
paying
fashion.
attention because we are giving them $100,000 for 3 years in a row, $300,000 to bring programs in to help stifle some of this shooting.
Okay, we want to see the program, and we also want to see accountability of the money, where it's
you
going.
would definitely
Yes.
get an accountability.
Yeah.
That money is government money, and ain't nobody going to be able to put it in their pocket.
And this is my statement, getting back to what the government, you asked the question, what can the county government do to assist us? I don't know what the 47 minutes of testimonies was all about, but I will say that when we have these programs, like now you say we have a trade school that's coming, that's opening up in the fall. I want to know the percentage of African Americans that are receiving seats in that school. Of the 40 seats that are left, I want to know how many of those are African Americans, because if it's not helping African Americans, then it's not helping our community. So is a certain amount of, are you targeting the African American community, or is it just open?
Here is the answer. You have to go to the school board meetings and ask them, because they're the ones who oversee education. We fund the school system. We give them the money. But then after we give them the money, they are the ones who determine what they are going to do with the money.
I'm going to talk about the 40 seats that are left. Who's governing the 40 seats?
The school board.
School board.
The
So
school
you all
board.
hear that? We have a ton of people running in this election for the school board positions. And so that is a question that we need to ask. If the school board is governing those seats and determining who gets in those schools, it does the African American community no good to have a trade school that, by the way, is not even controlled by the African American community. I don't know who's on the board. I don't know who's training them or any of that. To have a wonderful school in our community,
In
and we're just
Avondale.
looking out the window and we can't go to that school. So that is my question. How are we going to get access to this school? Who's going to determine who attends that school, and what impact will it have on African American students and African American adults, those 40 seats at the end of the day? That's all we care about, is the numbers. We want to know that the African American community is benefiting from this trade school. That's why I said we need to have a satellite training school in the African American community with African American people involved with the training and the overseeing of that school.
I don't disagree. Only thing I can tell you, we created the school. We helped
It's
create-
there. So
yeah.
here you go.
But then the school board, you got to talk to them. And hear me say this, people. Please hear me say this. Because of that census, you heard something about that Hamilton County's black population shrank about 5+% or whatever. I don't believe that. I don't think they were counted. I don't think they were counted. And I'll tell you something else. You and I have seen gentrification taking place in Chattanooga on a big level.
And still happening.
And what I want people to do is recognize we're going to have to employ different political strategies going forward. Because a person may live in a majority white community, still go to the meetings and ask the tough questions and get answers. And go to the meeting.
Y'all hear that?
Because
you can't be on the phone calling Dr. Woods mad.
Oh, they're coming
because something didn't happen. Or calling,
they're gonna call me.
And calling Mackey. They called me too. And called Commissioner Mackey mad because you don't understand why something happened in your neighborhood and you're not going to your neighborhood meetings. You're not attending the county gets off. The county gets off the hook a lot.
I've been saying it for years.
The county gets off the hook because you all will not go down there. I don't know if they scared of Mayor Coppinger or those commissioners or what.
They'll whisper to me. But
don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of white folk. You all go in the county. Don't be afraid of the county. For some reason, the county has got a label of being Republican people, and it is majority Republican that don't care about African Americans. So black folks don't show up for county commissioner meeting. That's where all the money is. They have $1 billion, almost $1 billion, roughly $1 billion in their budget. But yet you all will go down to City Hall and clown on the city mayor and let the county mayor off the hook. And the city mayor only has about $400 million. The county has $1 billion. You know the difference with that? So stop letting the county mayor and the county commissioners off the hook and start going to their meetings, even more so than you go to the city mayor's meeting. It's important that you go to both, but definitely you need to be going to the county committee and paying attention because the county is running just about everything in this city. They run the hospitals, they run the health department, they run the school system, they run anything they're dealing with paramedics, they run that. What else y'all run? They run tell me what all y'all run.
The Constitution requires us, one, to provide for the health department. We do the 911 call center. We control the sheriff department,
the
river park, the schools. We run it.
See, they got $1 billion budget. Why aren't you all concerned about the way $1 billion is being spent in this community and attacking? I mean, I'm not saying you don't need to go after the city mayor, but I'm saying you all are letting the county mayor off the hook. They got the most money. They got the most control. When you think about our school system, they control that, the money. So follow the money, people. This is all about educating our people. WPTP radio station is on the move to educate African American people in this city in particular about what they need to do and what's going on in this city. The county mayor is one of the most powerful persons in your city,
without a doubt.
And the county commission, did you see?
Without a
they
doubt.
just added 2 more districts. That's powerful. 2 more because one person went down and challenged them on the fact that there was too many people in some of the districts and not enough in the other, and they got 11 districts out of that, and you all probably don't even know who it was or how it was done. And our commissioner just explained to you that the way the comptroller does things, they have no control. And the best
I'm
thing,
tell you something. It seems like to me the state government, they are becoming intrusive and stepping their feet in our
local affairs. That's correct. That's correct. Something ain't right.
Yeah. But going back to what you said about coming to county commission meeting, I have to give a shout out to Delta Sigma Theta. They on a regular send their people down and they're monitoring. I would love to see others.
Okay, Alpha Kappa. Y'all know I'm an Alpha Kappa Alpha
And you
woman.
know
Okay,
I-
you
and
just
you know
gave.
what I am.
I love the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta, but come on, sorors.
Yeah.
You know, if the not only just the Alpha Kappa Alpha women, but the Zeta Sigma Zeta Phi Beta, Zeta Phi Beta, and Sigma Gamma Rho, Alpha Kappa Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta,
Come on
Alpha
down.
Phi Alpha, Mega Psi Phi, Phi Beta Sigma, Kappa Alpha Psi. You know, the Divine Nine. We all need to be, because that's the reason why we were founded in the first place. Because African American people needed to have a institution that we could come to and depend upon to uplift the African American community. Thus, the all of the Divine Nine Greek organization. And so we are failing on our founders if we don't continue to do what we were founded for. And so we all need to be in the face of the county mayor and the county commissioners. Don't be afraid that most of the county is Republican. We love Republicans too.
And do let me say, when you come, don't sit in the back.
Don't be scared. I like to sit on the front row. Y'all know I like to sit on the front row.
You know, I'm gonna sit. Look, if I can sit on the front row at my church, I'm gonna sit on the front row every time. And I did notice the head to your microphone is at. But I'm good too, because my mic it's got black. You know, it's got.
right.
We don't have the gold, but we got the black.
That's all right. Okay, we got another caller calling in, and keep me on the time here. Ooh, we over time. Okay, we're gonna take this last call, and then we're gonna wrap it up, because you're gonna come back.
I'll come back.
So caller,
Hello?
state your name and then your question, sir. Thank you for calling WPTP Radio. Hello? He hung up? Okay, the caller that just called in, please call back again. We got about one more minute, because we did start about 13 after. So if you're out there, the number is 423-713-7614. And we do have some tickets for the play Rage, a Scotty B. Caldwell film. You all know Pastor Caldwell was a pastor here, wonderful pastor. We love him to no end. But he's passed away, but his child is now in the movies, and they was here earlier on the Tony Boston show. So you all call in for a ticket to attend that play. Okay, caller. Hello. Can you state your hello? We can hear you. Can you state your name and your question, sir? Thank you for calling.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Joe Graham.
Hello, Mr. Graham.
How are you, Dr. Wood? It's always good to hear from you.
All right, good to hear from you too. Thank you for calling in. What is your question, Mr. Graham?
Well, I was very instrumental in helping get the District 10 and 11 added to the county commission. And the reason I helped do that is because, like what you all are talking about today, I feel like that the districts need to be more inclusive of neighborhoods that are relative instead of so far apart.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, with Dr. Mackey on there, I'm wondering if going forward, is there an opportunity to even add more districts?
Commissioner Graham, my friend, it'll be 10 years. The state has signed off on the boundaries that were set up a couple of months ago, and they can be changed. Some of these counties around Tennessee, and they're rather small, they are having 18 and 24 county commissioners. Even. Yes.
Wow.
I know the law is very clear that you have to have a minimum of 9, maximum of 25.
So now we got 32.
Well, no,
Average.
Hamilton County, we only have 11 districts.
Oh, okay.
And Joe Graham, you are very correct that your voice is the one that led us to expand the number of districts.
Kudos to Joe Graham. Yes.
Well, thank you.
I do have a question. I know you're not on the air today. You've had an interview already. But in District 11, how many schools are in District 11? I want to know, because that was a very big concern, that we had too many schools in one district, and the percentage of dollars being spent in that particular district was so little that they couldn't do as much as some of the other districts that had fewer schools. So what we'll talk about it. We'll come back and talk about it. But I want you all to think about that. If District 11 has 30 schools in it and District 8 has 10 schools, look at how much more money District 8 is going to get versus District 11. And it's not fair to have to divide the money in such a small piece because you have so many schools in one district. So that is a question I'm going to come back to later. And we're going to bring on the school board superintendent because we want to talk about that and also about how this trade school is going to play out relative to making sure that African Americans have equal and equitable access to get in this school, and that it is impacting the African American community in a positive way, because it's the African American community that suffered the most, and it's the African American community that lost the trade school at Kirkman, and so it stands to reason that the African American community should also have a more equitable opportunity to get those seats. So that's a question I'm going to be asking.
Well, it's important that it doesn't matter what zip code a student lives in, that they all get treated equally.
Absolutely. Equitable.
Zip code has nothing to do with it.
Yes, equitable. We need things to be
and
equitable.
To answer your question, we have 12 schools, which is why it's very important that going forward we get the right commissioner to represent this new District 11. That way you've got a commissioner that's willing to work with the school system to fight for the schools in this district together. And I'll be that guy.
All right, thank you. We appreciate you for calling in and giving us that tidbit of knowledge and wisdom, and we'll be hearing from you later again as we do a debate. We're going to do a debate, and so at that time we'll have more opportunity for you to showcase what you can do. And for Mr. Commissioner Warren Mackey, you have served our community, and I'm not saying have as in past tense. You are serving our community in an amazing way. We appreciate everything that you're doing and everything that you're going to do, and we hope going forward that you will continue to do the things for your new neighborhoods that you've taken on, and I know that you will. And so they're getting a great person, and we hope that, and we'll have a great person for District 11. I know Montreal Beasley, Sean Nix, and there's another young lady that's gotten in the race. She's recently got in the race. I'm sorry if I don't know her name. Do you know her name, Joe Graham, the new lady? Okay, he's off. Okay. But we'll have her on because she's one that has not had an opportunity to come on the radio. And Mr. Joe Graham are fighting for this seat for District 11. So we'll have them on a debate because it's that crucial and that important that we get the right person. And Mr. Mackey, Dr. Mackey, yes. I always give people their props because you earned that. And when people call me Miss Eleanor, I don't get upset, but I think I earned that. Call me by my surname correctly. Dr. Mackey.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
One of the things I am most proud of is when I was at MTSU, I had the best grade point average at the university. Now decipher that.
Bam, wham, shazam. I was up there. I may not have been number one, but I sure wasn't number 100. I was up there. I was an overachiever in school as well. And y'all know I've been practicing dentistry for 33 years, and I am the top 2% of the dentists in the world, and my skills are second to none.
Now, I got to tell you, when I was at Tennessee State, I was like maybe in the middle or below.
It's all right.
For what it's worth.
That's all right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all right. So, again, Dr. Commissioner Warren Mackey, it has been a pleasure to have you on WPTP 100.1 FM, and we will have you back. I know we're going to have you back.
You know I'll come, too.
You know, he is the commissioner, so don't you all get upset when he comes back on and talk about what's going on, not as a candidate, but as a commissioner to talk about what's going on in the county, because we all need to stay informed. And WPTP 100.1 FM is your number one station for education and talk radio, where we are building the African American community for the entire community of Chattanooga and Hamilton County. And until next week, we thank you, and y'all be blessed and go to church somewhere. find a church home, or listen online. Thank you all. Be blessed.
Thank you, Dr. Woods.
You're welcome. Can you get this picture?
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on